What is up, guys, and welcome to another episode of my HLTV Fantasy. Today we are looking at EPL Season 15 Group B. I guess first of all I'll go show how I'm doing so far in Group A. So it's like pretty decent. Honestly, it's pretty decent, not like horrible when you take into account that G2 have been losing a ton. But honestly, Hunter and Monesi so far have been just fine. If you look at Hunter, for example. So far this event, his stats are gonna be pretty decent. Yeah, like 1.14. It's not the worst, even though G2 are 1 and 2. Also, Plopsky and attack doing really good. I think I would assume that Rez is like in the best lineups. Yeah, so Rez has been kind of insane, which probably means that there needs, like, to win the event, you need to have like a Rez S attack, probably, maybe a Rez Plopsky. But there's still some games to play, so I'm not sure if Entropic is gonna be the best to have instead of something like Mouse, for example. BMAS has also been just fine. Oh yeah, I actually, if you don't follow me on Twitter, you won't even know that I had this lineup. I changed it after Alexi B had to sit the first few games out because of COVID, so Amanek came in instead of him. Amanek did like okay stats wise, but I still felt like he might just really struggle, and in some games he really did struggle. There was a lot of variance in his performances. But yeah, starting today, if you have like the Alexi B Amanek in your lineup, Alexi's gonna play again today against Entropic, so that's positive news. Group B. FaZe has to come in as a favorite because of well, they won the last big event in Katowice, and now they have Rain instead of JKS, which should be an improvement because role-wise that's way better for them. Having Raining again. Vitality should still have the pieces to be a very strong contender for titles. So I don't think they should not make it out. Like, they absolutely should make it out of the groups. But I mean, as we're seeing with G2, that just doesn't always happen. It's hard to say. Hard to say if maybe one of these teams struggles way more than expected. Then we have like VP or Outsiders, as they'll be playing as in this event. Of course, the situation with Russia and Ukraine might be impacting their mental state a bit. For example, just the uncertainty of which team, like, if they even got to play it in the first place. They did in the end make it to the event, but there was definitely some uncertainty. It might impact their performance, like it did the performance of Navi and Gambit, I would say, in Katowice. This, by the way, is the most competitive group in my opinion. Like, any of the top 5 probably can make it through. I don't think Sprout is gonna make it just because all the other teams are so competitive. Furia, yeah, they are like one of the better contenders to make it out, alongside ENCE in my eyes. I think they're pretty even in terms of who I would rank higher. It's hard to say. Like, they could if like VP do a lot worse than expected, either Furia or ENCE could make it through. I think ENCE is probably gonna go 2 and 3 over. Actually, if I had to make a prediction, I think ENCE go 2 and 3, and then like beating Sprout and probably Furia, but maybe Outsiders. Let's see. So wait, this. Oh yeah, here we are. Most picked players: Brokey and Kerrigan. Brokey was the MVP in Katowice, makes sense. Kerrigan is a cheap player for FaZe who did well last event, makes sense. Then we have Dupree, Misuda, and Apex. Pretty good picks for Vitality. I will pretty expensive. I don't know why Magisk isn't picked quite as much. are his stats just not that great over the last 3 months or so? Okay, his stats are kind of on the downswing, but isn't that the case for the others as well? Or am I... Actually, Dupree's been really good. Okay, maybe Magisk just doesn't have the stats to back picking him up. ROPS as well, so Broken ROPS are actually equally as expensive, 217. Brokey should be the safer pick, but ROPS might have higher upside. Twists, yeah, makes sense. They're like the third star in this group of 3. He could have a really good event here. I wouldn't be surprised. He gets to play a bit more in his own roles. Whereas in Katowice he had to be a bit more aggressive because of Rain's absence and JKS coming in. And drop, just because he's pretty damn cheap, I guess. His stats have been on like a way lower. He seems to struggle against the higher tier opposition, right? Oh yeah, really drops off. Probably not gonna pick drop because of that. I think Snappy is more probably... Okay, he drops off as well, but not as hard, I would say. Okay. Who do I want? So, from phase, you could pick anyone. Honestly, you could make a case for any of these picks in my eyes. Phase is the kind of team that anyone can step up for them and do super well. Maybe except Carrigan, but he can also have some performance where he's doing like better than usual. This is him in the finals. This is him. Yeah, that was a horrible game against FaZe for him. 9 and 29. Yeah, 29 kills in 3 really long maps. It's horrible, but I mean, he kind of recovered in the next series. Like, he's actually done fine here in all of this. I guess like top tier opposition as well. So I wouldn't mind picking Carrigan here. The question is mostly like the same kind of goes for Vitality, where I can see picking pretty much anyone. I probably wouldn't want to pick Misuda or Magisk, maybe like Dupree. I think Dupree probably makes my lineup. And maybe Apex. Yeah, Apex with some pretty good events. Magisk, like very decent, but not like exceptional or anything. What about Misuda? Misuda is, yeah, the one struggling the most, I would say. Can you make like a Zaibu 184? Kinda can. With Ralts, I'm not gonna pick Ralts. Okay, if I got Snappy with this, that would be worth considering. Unfortunately, this just doesn't. There's no real players for this price point. ED at 185. I don't want to go for a Sprout player though. The question is, like, because Aivu had a pretty atrocious event, right? For his standards in Kato. He just didn't do as well as he should have, especially in like the first stage. But he's probably here to prove a point. I think he's gonna get some... he should do pretty damn well. But it's hard to pick him as well as Dupree. Like, it would probably have to be like more along these lines. Maybe it's pretty tough to make it work. Art could be a thing with entry. I wouldn't mind that. Like, I think the third guy could probably be it, because it's very unpredictable. Apart from like the top 2 for me, it's kind of unpredictable for me who out of these 3 teams is gonna make impact. So I would rather have a cheap player like a Snappy maybe in that spot. Or a Buster. I wouldn't want to go for like a Jame, I don't think. It's putting maybe a bit too much stock into that. So this is like an option. I'd rather go Snappy than drop, I think, every time. 187, so we can get a Modern. Modern is pretty damn decent. Although he hasn't had like the greatest stats so far yet. This is not good. But they only played 6 maps against like high tier opposition. This is more concerning to me that in the play-in, even though they made it through the play-in stage, they had only like 1.0 rating. I don't know who on Ends was like their carrying force in the play-in. That's kind of what I would rather look at as like, yeah, DK 1.08. Okay, so it was really Spinks doing a lot of the heavy lifting. The problem is, I guess, that in this group, the opposition is more along the lines of an actual. I don't know. Hard to really say much about that actually. What we can do is like this actually. Brokey Rain Apex Magisk Buster. That's an option. I think I want to go Carrigan maybe. Maybe it's a Carrigan Brokey kind of situation actually. Dupree and... But then yeah, the question is I can't go for Zaiwu. It's very close to being like really good. With Magisk I can't make it any better. Like if I got 1 grand more, I would actually go for that, I think. For the snappy lineup with this. But not quite good enough for that. And yeah, this is again the awkward price point. This is a pretty awkward event to make a lineup for. I think Twists might be what if we like have a lot of stock in this? 70. Twists, Brokey, Dupree, Apex, Snappy. I'm pretty happy with this lineup, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think Snappy's probably gonna be like a 1.0 rating player. Somewhere along that line, along those lines, I hope at least. Is he though? Like, pretty hard to say. Yeah, the cheap players in this are kind of cheap for a reason, it feels like. I don't see them like Snappy has those pop-off situations as well. That's interesting. But yeah, he has like good maps. Then he has like really horrible ones as well, unfortunately, at times. I think I'm gonna go with this though. I don't know. I'd rather go for Snappy for 176 than some of the other cheap players, I think. But I just don't see myself going for like less. Like this is interesting actually. I guess we get Spinks, who I think is just gonna frag really well. Okay, this just might be better. Okay, let's go for this. I think Carrigan is maybe the better cheap player. Like the best cheap player out of the ones we have as options. Let's go for this. Okay, so main op, of course. And then we have some options. Magisk entries, maybe. Or Carrigan entry. I don't know, Carrigan IGL, I guess. Makes the most sense. I do expect FaZe to go 5-0, but of course, look, I expected G2 to go 5-0. Did not happen. Won't, like, let's hope they qualify for the next stage at least. Yeah, entry on Magisk makes the most sense. Thinks Ender or multi probably, right? Pretty close. Ender should be better. And then Dupree probably on the multi. Not like the cleanest of Ooh, this is actually close. Shots or I'll go multi-fragger. Hope he goes kind of nuclear. Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with this lineup. It's pretty hard because the cheap players, except I think you kind of have to go Carrigan, who is like the go-to. I don't like drop. I think he just has to be Carrigan, honestly, in your lineup to make room for other more expensive guys on other teams. Okay. Versus ends. So in EPL, like in the past round as well, you have to remember like how many chances you have to play boosters. For example, if we go look at my Group A, I still don't. I'm not even gonna put more boosters on this round, although I have 3 left, because last round is gonna be G2 and IP. So I want to put like S-Attack bottom of scorecard and like Plopsky bait and wanna see Saver. So remember those kinds of things. Spinks. So who's gonna be? Yeah, Carrigan's gonna be our bottom of scorecard against Vitality. Brokey top of scorecard. I think the pistol makes sense. I think it's gonna be like possibly a 3-mapper against Ents. That FaZe should win it. So he's gonna have good chances to hit that. Brokey probably against actually no, yeah, okay. Probably against Vitality we put Brokey clutch. Who did Dupree versus Sprout? Okay, so this should be like KST game. Okay, Brokey's gonna have that KST then. A lot of these would be nice on Brokey. Assist. Okay, assist on Carrigan makes sense here. Because you want bottom of scorecard against Vitality, so this makes more sense here. Headshot is probably actually Spinks versus FaZe, probably not, because there's like twists on the other side. So you don't want to put this on this round. Versus FaZe. What is Spinks good at as well here? Spinks is like ace percentages. 30 bomb. Just decent. Like he's pretty good at many things. Like choke makes some sense. Let's put on choke. Vitality. Isk. Clutch is definitely Brokey. 100%. Avenger I'd rather have against something other than Sprout. Maybe, okay, let's just go Avenger against Sprout. It's decent. I'll just throw this on here because I don't feel like I want to put anything. Like, is there something else? There's really nothing for Magisk here. Yeah, okay, let's just throw this on. I think Magisk is just not gonna have any boosters apart from this. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.